Hi from Sydney, and welcome to the suburb of Redfern here in Sydney. Now today my destination is into the new fish markets. Now I was listening on the radio the other day and they said that the fish markets, since they only opened a few weeks ago, they said that they're very popular and there's a lot of people go there. They also said that a good idea is to go there in the afternoon. So I'm doing that. It's 12 o'clock now and I'm going to head in there now. Anyway, here at Redfern, I'm on the corner of Ivy Street, Wilson Street and Little Eveleigh Street. And Redfern Station is just up the road. So I'll go up to Redfern Station, take a train into Central, and then from Central I'll get the light rail from Central Station out to the fish market. Anyway, I hope you'll join me for the day. This is the main new southern concourse they've built. Now if you remember, there was a wooden stairway went up and over here, but they've changed it into a concourse. Very nicely done too. Now here's the other end of the concourse here. Now we've got a train to Central in 1 minute from platform 9. We might make that. We missed it. That's all right, we've only got 6 minutes to wait for another one.
First stop, Central, then.
Now of course, to get the light rail out to the fish market, we've got to head up to the Grand Concourse. And the Grand Concourse used to be called Central Steam years ago. And I think the last time I heard that being used was by a taxi driver about 10 years ago. Well, welcome to the Grand Concourse here in Sydney. Dulwich Hill. That's what we want. Better get on. We're away. I nearly missed it. Now the trip from Central to the fish markets will probably take around 20-25 minutes, and it's about 8 stops, and you get off at Wentworth Park. Now the light rail from Central to Dulwich Hill runs every 10 to 15 minutes, maybe even more often, so there's no waiting. Just get off the train or get off a bus if you're coming from somewhere else in Sydney at Central Station, come up to the Grand Concourse and you're away.
and Darling Harbour. Next stop is Pyrmont Bay, alight for Australian National Maritime Museum and Pyrmont Bridge. Next stop is the Star, alight for Sydney Lyric Theatre and the Star Casino. Next stop is Wentworth Park, alight for Sydney Fish Market.
Okay, here we are. Now you're not going to get lost. Just follow the signs in the crowd. Very good wheelchair access here. Well, there's the new fish market over there. You certainly can't miss it. Wow, this is absolutely beautiful. And we haven't even got inside yet. There's Sydney's fishing fleet over there. Now if you don't want to climb up the stairs, you can use the front entrance. And we'll go in here. And there's a lift just here to take you up. Okay, this is the upper ground floor. I think there's a couple more floors above this. I'm not sure where I am, but anyway, let's get inside and have a look. My favourite food, oysters. There's some Pacific oysters from Bruny Island in Tasmania. Well, I picked a wet, rainy Monday afternoon to come here, so I thought I'd be the only person here. But no way. The place is packed. It's just 1:15. There's hardly a table, spare table. So if you're coming and you want to eat here, get here early. Those oysters there, I've never seen oysters so big. Evidently they're from Tasmania. They're Pacific oysters, but gee, I've never seen them that big. Okay, there's pizzas and all that sort of stuff, but I just love oysters. But when I buy them, I got to shrug them myself, because the best part of them is that little bit of salt water inside that you get with the oyster. I generally drink it or sip it before I eat the oyster. Here's some flounder. That looks nice.
I don't have to justify it, thank you very much.
Well, it's a regular supermarket here, but specialising in seafood. It's beautiful. Look, it's absolutely beautiful. Now you're probably thinking, what am I doing here at a cafe drinking coffee when I'm at the fish market? I should be out there having lunch or something. Well, it's just after 1 and all the restaurants are full. And anyway, the other reason why I'm not eating is that I'm not really sure what I want. I have to look a little bit further, but in the meantime, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. Cheers. That's delicious.
I mean, I can't
Now, of course, if you don't like fish or seafood, you can get a burger or something else, something like that here. Oh, that's beautiful. Very good. Oh, look at those sunflowers. They're really nice, aren't they? Anyway, I just spoke to the owner of this store, and he told me the name of these orchids, but I can't remember. It's too long a name for me to remember.
Everyone knows where to find us. Right. And Any diarrhea, huh? Diarrhea. Should we go?
Yeah, it's gigantic, isn't it, eh? In fact, if you want to come to the Sydney markets, and especially if you live in Sydney, I'd probably suggest you leave it for a little while, probably on a wet, rainy day right in the middle of winter, and you might have room to move and somewhere to have your lunch. Well, the takeaway food's a bit cheaper. Hello. Ooh, those prawns look good, don't they? Well, I hope that gives you an idea what they have here and how much everything is. Ah, lobster tail. Oh, look at that, 45. Half lobster mornay. That looks pretty good. And now I've decided I'm going to have an oyster lunch. And the size of these oysters, I think I only need one. They're so big. Can I have one of those big oysters, please? And it's, no, that's all. Thanks very much. And it's $7 each. That's a good deal. Well, you won't believe this. I actually found a table. And here's the oyster I got. Well, that's an oyster. Oh,
Sorry, so this is part of the restaurant. The food court's just over there.
Oh, okay, then mate, I'll move over there. Well, that didn't last too long, did it? Okay, I found another seat. Now, if you're not an oyster eater, you might find this a little bit gross. But here we go. Oh, that is delicious. It's sort of like the taste of the ocean. It's just the taste of the sea. It's absolutely, I can't describe an oyster. It's absolutely delicious. Still, my favourite oyster is the Sydney rock oyster. You know. They're the best. Now the only thing missing was a beer or a glass of champagne or a glass of Chardonnay or something like that. But I'll save the beer for later, I think. One of those, a mixed sushi, please. Just one, please, yeah. Well, I found something else. I found a mixed sushi. Well, this looks pretty good. There's one problem. How do I? I'll get back to you in a minute. Look at that, that's all delicious raw salmon sushi. Got cream or something and herbs on it. Oh, delicious. Oh, look at that beautiful salmon. Isn't that delicious? I'd like to get a kilo of frozen Cloudy Bay vongole. Vongole is, I love it. It's delicious. It's actually delicious with spaghetti and nice big slice of butter. Now if you like sashimi, this is supposed to come. Oh, look at that.
Can we get 2 more this time?
Four, please.
3 and 4.
Could I have one of those abalones there, please? Great, thanks very much. Ah, isn't that beautiful? Abalone, it looks like it's got some cheese on it or something like that. Now it was a choice between abalone and smoked eel. I decided to go for the abalone. I'll save the smoked eel for the next time I come. Now abalone is different from your general seafood like fish and prawns and stuff like that. Abalone is got a totally different texture. It's much, you've got to bite into it. It's got the texture of, like the texture of a steak or something like that. Well, that was absolutely delicious. Now, since I've got the shell here, I'll take the shell home for Chris. We just got back from a 4-day trip to Canberra and also from Junee. And Chris was feeling a bit tired today, so she decided to stay at home. But when I get home and put the video together and show her, she'll think, why didn't I go? Now, unfortunately, there's no bus stops out front of the fish market or really close to the fish market. I was going to take you back into the city on the bus, but what they've done is that what could be a bus stop down there, there's actually a coach stop for all our international visitors and tours. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk back to the light rail and I'm going to head back in towards the city, but I'm going to get off at Pyrmont Bay and walk up towards the Pyrmont Bridge. Then I might have a beer at the Pyrmont Hotel and walk down to the Pyrmont Bay ferry jetty and catch a ferry into Circular Quay. That was quick. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lift here. Sorry, mate. Well, it's goodbye Sydney Fish Markets and our next stop is Pyrmont Bay. But I'll be certainly heading back to the Sydney Fish Market very soon. Like, there's a lot more I'd like to try there. What I had was absolutely delicious. So if you're coming to Sydney, don't miss Sydney Fish Market.
Stand clear.
Ah yes, this is what we want. Pyrmont Bay. Unfortunately, I don't think there's an oh, there it is. There it's on the other side of the escalator. But I'll get a bit of exercise. And just a few steps from the light rail stop is the Pyrmont Bridge Hotel. And this hotel is an old classic. They've got a real bar here. Real Sydney. Nothing's changed here. We've had the last 50, 60 years. Okay, they've done the bar up. New stools. This is a Sydney classic.
myself, and then I got told you're here. You rang me.
And you can sit at the bar here at the Pyrmont Bridge Hotel. So I got myself a bar stool. This beer is not for me, it's for one of the subscribers to the channel who lives over there in Houston. And he asked me, would I have a beer for him? Cheers, mate. Oh, that is beautiful. Now Sydney started out really nice day in Sydney today. It was about 22 degrees, it was raining, and it was absolutely beautiful. Now the rain's gone, the sun has come out, and the humidity is probably about 120%, it's probably about 33 degrees. It's days like this you wish you're in Melbourne. Now I really do hand it to the owners of this hotel. They've got a really good hotel and they haven't turned it into some fancy nightlife sort of a venue. They've kept the originality of the hotel. Like, whereabouts in Sydney can you actually sit at the bar and have a beer? Like, even in the suburbs you can't do that. Now, of course, straight across the road from the Pyrmont Bridge Hotel is the Pyrmont Bridge. Now, I'll take you over there for a quick look, but I'm not going to walk across it because I'm going to head down to the ferry and catch a ferry over the Circular Quay. And just on the left as you walk over the bridge is the Australian National Maritime Museum. The Sydney Maritime Museum down there. Now I've got to go back in there again. I've been there once, but I think I've got a lot more to look at. And on the other side of the bridge, now I'm not going to walk the full length of the bridge. I'll leave that up to you. I'm going to head down there and see if I can get that ferry across the Circular Quay. Now the ferry wharf's just down here. And where are we? Just over here is the ferry wharf. And of course, here's a replica of Captain James Cook's ship, the Endeavour. Now there's the James Craig over there. Beautiful sailing ship. Now my guess is that it's a bark. It wouldn't be a ship rig because ship rigs have got 3 masts, are square rigged in all the 3 masts. And I'm sure a bark is square rigged first, second, and the mizzen is fore and aft. I think I'll have to go back to my books, maritime books, to check that out.
Stopping at Barangaroo, Balmain East, McMahon Point, Milton Point and Circular Quay.
That's our ferry.
This ferry is a F4 service to Circular Quay, stopping at Barangaroo.
These guys know what they're doing. Well, it's all aboard. Now, next up is Barangaroo. Okay, here we come into Balmain East Wharf. Of course, when we were at Pyrmont Bridge there, I could have just continue to walk across Pyrmont Bridge and I'd arrive in the city, and 2 or 3 blocks up would have been Town Hall Station, right in the middle of the city. But had to take the long way around on the ferry because, hey, a day out in Sydney without a ferry ride isn't a day out, is it? The next stop is McMahon's. Here we are back at Circular Quay. And we got a train back to Central in 2 minutes. Well, before I go, one last view of Sydney Harbour. There's a narrowbeam leaving down there. Here's my train now, and thanks very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, and we'll see you all next week. Bye now.